Hello everyone and welcome to INnoVation versus herO from the Olimoleague Monthly Finals. A best of 3 as it was in one of the early rounds, I believe the quarterfinals here. And let's dive right on into it with the bottom right player in the red from TSG. We've got herO playing as Protoss in this PvT. That's to the top left hand side. We've got the WESG champ. Well, I'm not going to say that one, that could be a bit of a spoiler, so I'll keep the other one low. Our blue Terran is INnoVation from Team Reciprocity. What's up, everybody? How you all doing today? Welcome to another YouTube cast. I gotta say, I'm just amazed at how well the YouTube videos keep doing. We're constantly hitting like 4,000 to 5,000 video views a day, rather than like 2,000 to 3,000, which I feel is what we were hitting like a few weeks ago. So thank you very much for that, although it is very heavily dependent on which players we seem to cast. So, as always, if you do enjoy this one, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you thought of it, let me know who you'd like to see playing in the future, and of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, then do subscribe. We upload one video a day right now, so you don't get overly spammed with video. We take 3 YouTube casts a week, and we do 3 to 4 videos off the stream a week, either the greatest series or just great players. So really just looking to push out very high tier quality content. I just also want to take a very quick moment to mention the Patreon page as well. If you like this content, a lot of it is helped out by the Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV. It's a great way for you guys to support, get updates on what I'm up to. You'll also get replay packs from the stream without having to go to Twitch and be a subscriber there, etc. So it's a great way to check it out. The link is in the description down below, and it's again just a great way to support. It helps support my tournaments, which essentially gives me more content to upload to YouTube and stuff as well, so, and it alleviates some of the costs elsewhere. So check that out. Thanks for putting up with me advertising for the first couple minutes. Let's talk TVP, because this is Cybernetics Core very early in the game, and it's not just going to be for a fast Adept, no. It's going to be for a super fast Stargate proxy to the top left-hand side of the map. So, INnoVation being proxied here early on. Now, as the SCV scouts, he sees, okay, wall off on the low ground, very fast Cybercore. Obviously doesn't expect a Nexus here just yet, and can't check for it even if he wanted to. So, he does have to come up and around, and he actually does with the Reaper. Find the Stargate, and actually finds the probe here too, so we'll be able to chase that probe for the kill. Now, obviously, the probe running away here still buys some time where that Reaper is not attacking this pylon, but if you leave the probe alive and you attack the pylon, the probe just comes and builds another pylon, so you don't really gain very much from it. As we're going to be seeing that Reaper continuing to pull back away over to the left-hand side. Command Center going to be finishing up in the next few moments. And that means we've got 2 bases set up from INnoVation, while herO is just now beginning to expand. But obviously INnoVation knows it's a proxy Stargate, so he should be able to respond very responsibly to this. Building up a factory already means he can get himself either a Widow Mine or straight into a Cyclone. He can also move into the Starport, which a Viking is obviously going to be also a very good way to turn away an Oracle very reliably and very consistently. The problem is that Oracle is going to hit so quickly. There's only 2 Marines out right now, make that 4 in just a moment, but 4 Marines versus 1 Oracle, I think you need 5 nowadays, and also there's Adept coming in, so this could be spelled trouble for INnoVation. Adept and an Oracle against 4 Marines. INnoVation trying to buy some time. Here come the SCVs. For a moment there's the Reaper as well to help out with the Adept on the ground. The Oracle is yet to pop its Pulsar Beam. Widow Mine is about to pop, and that will help with a lot of the zoning as we see 2 more Marines popping out, but that Adept will live. Shades down to the low ground and gets out of there alive. Widow Mine has burrowed up in this mineral line now, so just putting himself there. He is covered from the Oracles in the main base. And there's a couple more Marines pop out. We'll be seeing INnoVation looking pretty okay in this at the moment. Viking on the way in the main base as well. There's Adept and the Oracle still having a little bit of a patrol here, looking to see what else they are up to. Supply depot going to build up behind this mineral line. Adept again shading around. A few more Marines continuing to pop out here. Blink now on the way on the Twilight Council, so getting this up and running. And there's again just going to be seeing the Reaper from INnoVation going to head out onto the map, heading down to the bottom right-hand side. Oracle is going to get that kill, so unfortunately INnoVation is not going to find any more information with the Reaper. And as extra Marines come up, the Cyclone building too. There is a Phoenix on the way, and intrigued to see how many of these herO will commit into. Even opening Stalkers fairly aggressively across the map already with that blink coming up. Viking comes forward, sees the Phoenix in production, so again, important information gained. Obviously, this Oracle never really did much damage, but it is providing a lot of information as well, because it's revelating at the front, it's keeping good track of what's building. And as a Cyclone pops out, a Raven on the way too. That Raven might be pretty difficult to keep alive. Not only is there a Phoenix, but there's also going to be Stalkers with Blink. Going to have to really babysit that Raven and make sure it doesn't go down haphazardly at any point of this. As the Adept shades by, up in towards the main base, and it is going to complete. So Adept moving up into the main. It's kind of just a scout again, right? Just really confirming what is on what add-on at the moment. I'm surprised INnoVation is letting this get out alive. I have no idea. Wow, he's actually going to still have it alive in the corner here. Finally, the Marines will come and get it. Just a little lazy from INnoVation, but I tell you what, he needs to be very proactive about dealing with these Stalkers because they are on the way up still, and there's going to be 9 of them now with the Blink warp in, or the Blink upgrade completing. I mean, the Viking and the Cyclone sees them. Now we're going to see the Cyclone getting caught by the Phoenix. The good lift there. That's instantly a dead Cyclone. I mean, it just feels like the tank and the bunker at the front might not be enough. I guess even if you blink onto this, though, and get the tank, it's still a lot of Marine damage output, right? And you've got that bunker, too. There's also the Raven, which can throw down an auto turret, so even more damage output as well. INnoVation just going to pull that tank a little bit further back. Just wants to make it really, if you kind of blink in to kill this, it's really a deep dive. He doesn't want the Stalkers just poking at the front. Here we go, though. You're going to see that tank goes down pretty much immediately with the Phoenix lift up. Oh my god, the Raven goes down, just gets the auto turret, but the Stalkers were already leaving. I mean, this is 3 Stalkers killed for a Siege Tank and a Raven already. Well, a new Siege Tank shows up, and now the Phoenix is out of energy, so it can't lift it up this time around. So at least it will, or should, get 1 volley off, which will help quite a bit. You bring those Stalkers much lower, and the Marines will have a much easier time finishing them off. As INnoVation even scanning the third base, really wants to see what's going on here. There are still 9 Stalkers as 3 went down, 3 replaced them. Behind this, a RoboBay on the way up as well from herO. So getting that set to go as +1 attack and armor on the way through. Charge on the way out. And again, that War Prism just about to pop, so you can see even more aggression from herO. And I tell you what, he is really getting himself into a very controlling position in this game, as INnoVation will throw down extra factories and try and play mech here off of this, with the 3rd CC already finishing. Okay, well, the thing is, I feel like herO is setting up to play like a lot of Blink Stalker Charge Blood. I mean, yes, there's a RoboBay as well for some tech structure here, but it is that kind of position where, as I love this scan as well, checks the 3rd and also maybe just sees if there's anything on the edge of the main, and sort of looks at this ramp too. It's good information, good position as that Phoenix will die to the Widowmine. Yeah, I mean, there's a RoboBay coming up, but I really feel like there's an opportunity here for maybe herO to just end this, as INnoVation tries to take 3 bases on a very low Siege Tank count, with just a bunch of Charge Locks and Stalkers. And the Stands Colossus will come up, though, so herO not going to be going for that. INnoVation. I mean, for him, it's okay for INnoVation to kind of sit back on 2 bases for a while. Here's the 3rd base. It's so late for herO as well. It's not like herO went for like a 4.5-minute 3rd. And he's been mining off of it all of this time. Then INnoVation might be feeling a bit more concerned about this contain of Stalkers that's been going on. I'm very intrigued as to how this is going to go, by the way. I mean, we've got a ton of unupgraded Marines, while INnoVation's supply is way higher. These are, again, just absolutely useless Marines. Like, he's built so many more Marines than I think you'd ever expect to see when playing mech. Like, I mean, build 10 Marines and build more mech units from there. But this is really just, I'm building Marines because I'm terrified of taking damage, just the Viking gets 4 kills across the map. It's like, you're building Marines because you're terrified of taking damage, and they are going to hold on for now. But then it's completely wasted supply. This is literally 24 supply, 24 Marines, which are really not going to achieve much with upgrades in play, etc. I mean, they are just not going to do anything. They're not good as the game goes on without stim, without combat shields. So this is really troubling for INnoVation, I feel. I feel like he's in a worse spot than he seems to be in. Yes, he is getting up to 3 bases. Yes, he does have a tank line to protect him on these 3 bases. I'm just not completely convinced that this is still kind of super brilliant. I guess we'll see very soon. I just think you really have to, again, every time you look at the supplies here to see, what's going on, you have to minus 20 from INnoVation, because, again, those Marines are just not going to add much. We'll see, though. We'll see if INnoVation can make something happen with it. It's definitely not out of the game. With a siege tank line like this, you can definitely defend on 3 bases, build up into that maxed out mech army, and then you can get into some very strong positions, of course. Now, herO's going to approach this game by going into another Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. Now, obviously, his first Stargate is across the map, so he doesn't necessarily want to warp in from this Stargate over here. As we do see good map control from him, though, has been able to keep this alive up until now. But obviously, building on this is always going to be a risk. When the unit pops out, it's going to be out of position, so it's not reliable. So at the moment, actually, essentially only going up to 1 real Stargate back at home. Wouldn't be surprised to see another couple added on as the Fleet Beacon finishes, though, as he just looks to build an air army to deal with this. Now, one of the popular ways to deal with this mech army is to actually, saw it yesterday in one of the tournaments I was casting, just a massive Phoenix was actually really effective. You come in, you lift up all of the kind of units, and, well, what do you do then? But I think in this situation, there's just enough for herO. herO's just safe enough to just build straight into Tempest, and that's exactly what he's doing too. I think the difference was yesterday with the Phoenix. The player was building a lot of Cyclones, and he was very active on the map. And the Phoenix obviously very mobile to respond to that, and very good at lifting up and cancelling the Cyclones, etc. But, on the other side, you know, when hero's in control of the game, he has time to build up into a very good Tempest count. And once that Tempest count is built up with, you know, there's no Cyclones here to lock on and kill those Tempests or anything, right? So the one weakness that these Tempests may have isn't really valid in this game, as now INnoVation sees the Tempest for the first time. Starports and Vikings will certainly become much more of a priority for him here as he moves up towards a 4th base, but herO is gathering together, has not taken a 4th base of his own just yet. The Stalker's blinking into the Nine Refinery. Is this pylon? I really feel like this pylon is blocking this Nexus. What is he doing? He's building a ton of pylons over here. I'm so intrigued. I mean, he is just supply blocks. So maybe it's just one of those panic things. It definitely doesn't seem like it's a well thought out pylon build order over there. Anyways, a couple of Tempests starting to harass. That Oracle still around, hits the Revelation. And so you can hit and see from a distance those Tempests able to utilize their full range as a maxed out INnoVation. Still with a lot of unupgraded Marines in the army, mind you. He's now going to look to try and do something here. Building up Vikings, even getting weapon refit. That's the Yamato cannon upgrade for battle cruisers. I don't think he's anywhere near the position of being able to make battle cruisers here, as this command center, well, that's going to go down. Unfortunately, Stalkers will be able to get that kill. Army is moving down to deal with this, as, I mean, there's just no anti-air in this. There's no way to fight these Tempests at all. Tempest currently targeting down the Raven, which gets very low, 1 hit from death. I mean, now they're just picking away at the siege tanks in the front. INnoVation, I mean, he's going to get a couple of 4s out. He's got Vikings on the way as well. The slow Marines come forwards as well. Putting a couple of interference. Matrix is going to shut down the Tempest for a moment or so. And the moment INnoVation is forcing this back, as another attempt to take the 4th base is going to be denied here. herO also takes a 4th base in the forward location, so decides not to take the top right as he was initially planning to. There you go. I mean, good force fields here block a lot of units away. Now the Colossus though are going to town on the Hellbats, on the Marines. Getting a lot of damage done there. It's pressing forward still. Another couple of sentries are going to drop the 4s. Again, I mean, the 4s are pretty good against those Tempests if they get in range, but there's not really much to protect those 4s. The siege tank line is dealing a lot of damage to those Stalkers, but it doesn't seem to be enough. And INnoVation is going to get broken through here, as he just didn't have a response to the super fast Tempests there. And that really was a game changer, because if he had something to deal with those Tempests more quickly and readily available, I'm a complete believer that INnoVation is in a position to win this out. Because he really was kind of feeling like he was in a very good position early on, a good amount of supply, etc. Again, I wasn't sure about the Marines, but I didn't mind his position. I know I was maybe a bit negative about it. Maybe I harped on about those Marines a bit much, but I really felt like he's in a playable spot. But obviously, with Tempests out and no response to them, he just couldn't get one up in time. He was forced into a fight trying to take a 4th base, and that's what led us to a GG in game number 1. herO picks up the first map, and let's hop into a game number 2 in just a moment. Hopping into a map number 2 here, we've got INnoVation, still playing the blue Terran to the top right-hand side. New Repugnancy. A map here for game 2 is to the bottom left. The red Protoss player from TSG. This is herO. I feel like all my game sounds are low, but I think it was just the start of the game. So, getting this set up and rolling. I'm going to be seeing the supply depot on the way up here from INnoVation. That's about to finish up, as we do see the probe from herO coming across. So a little bit of scouting coming down here as this comes up through into the main SCV. Going to take a couple of nibbles. Another SCV coming across, so a little bit of a fight over here. Probe and SCV going up against each other as that barracks dropping down into the main base. Another SCV coming over as well. So yeah, getting this set up, and just a little bit of early game pressure. Nothing all too crazy as we get this truly underway. Hoping to be able to run a Korean tournament of my own over the next couple of weeks. I've been trying to plan a little bit of something out so we have some content to bring to you guys. So hopefully we'll have more of these players over the next little while. Hopefully that's going to be something I can... I'm just sort of speaking my thoughts at the moment. Oh my god, I can't lose if I play the way I practiced, is what INnoVation says, and herO said, but you lost to patience. Wow. I love it when Crank's in here and he can translate a little bit for us. It's very amusing. Very amusing to say the least, as we do see the command center is setting up onto the natural expansion, so getting that set up, getting that ready to go. Cybernetics core is about to complete here in the next few moments, so getting that up and running, as well as the Nexus just ticking along, going to be about halfway done. And this probe of herO heading down to the bottom right hand side. going to be going on a little bit of an adventure as well. So Probe having a little bit of a wander around here as the reactor starting up from INnoVation, supply depot as well. Command center coming through. Everything pretty regular so far. No real surprises, no real shocks. Obviously no proxy Stargate this time around either, so a very different game from herO already planned out. Just opening with that faster expansion compared to before, but overall still very regular in terms of the grand scheme of things and what we're kind of expecting here. So that Reaper just still patrolling at the front as this SCV pulls back up into the main base. You're going to be seeing this factory dropping down here from INnoVation as well, so getting that up and running, and again just going to see this bunker about to finish. Command center going to be done in the next few moments as, again, just factory coming through about halfway done. Twilight Council dropping down. Everything just taking a moment or two to build up here for the next little bit. This Reaper from INnoVation moving around in the center of the map is coming across, try and pick up some further info. Obviously it's been a pretty blind game for him so far. Hopping to the main base earlier, saw the Cyber Core, but obviously no scout on the Twilight Council, so he's a little bit unsure as to what's going on. But obviously herO's also just kind of sitting back and not really doing much, so there's not been anything too crazy here just yet. Widowmine's continuing to build. Starport just over halfway done, going to be finishing in a few moments. Again, more Marines continuing to come on out. Going to be seeing that robo facility from herO dropping down in the main base. 2 gateways building at the front as well. And again, that Reaper does get shut down as we're going to be seeing another Stalker of herO warping in. So all of these units gathering up together, and herO is getting ready to push out across the map, perhaps with this blink. I mean, 2 extra gates, right? So while the Stalker count doesn't look like much at the moment, it will rise up pretty quick. And now he's going to have blink as well, so the Stalkers are going to be very effective, actually, and very useful. So here comes that Adept, still moving towards the upper right-hand side. So Adept moving across. A couple of gates, as mentioned before, about to complete, and that does give herO that map control because you'll have more Stalkers with the blink finishing. In INnoVation, I mean, just Marines, tanks, and Starport as well is also building a tech lab, so you only build a medevac so far, and it's a couple of Widowmines to go and drop, so a little bit of early game pressure, which will then be followed up with potential of a Marine tank push, maybe even a Raven as well. There it is. It definitely feels like INnoVation is looking for a push in the next couple of minutes when that Raven is out, and when he's got the energy on it, because he's just got so much Marine tank production already going here. So here we go. Medevac straight into the natural. It's going to be, well, Medevac shot down, but the Widowmines will at least get to blow up a couple of probes, and the Stalker is not terrible, right? I mean, it's better than just the 2 probes. So it's something. It's not brilliant. It's not terrible. It's kind of middle of the road damage here for the Widowmines. As INnoVation will just go straight into 3rd CC, so not slowing down at all. And with extra gases, feels as though INnoVation is already probably looking to play a bit more mech here in this game number 2. So looking to try and set up into those extra factories once again. He'll again have a lot of Marines with this, and I just wish you could use those Marines a little bit more effectively early game. I mean, I guess, yes, they do keep you safe and they keep you steady as your extra factories produce, and it helps you deal with the initial gateway production of the Protoss. I just feel like if you don't trade out with them, though, then they suddenly become very useless. And it's kind of weird because they're almost a necessity, but it's also like 1,000 minerals you're never going to get true value out of. Stalker's going to blink into the natural. I mean, this is definitely not a good use of Marines because, well, he loses absolutely nothing. The Stalker's saved by the Warp Prism. And so, right away here, INnoVation loses the Siege Tank, and that's just herO putting on some very good pressure. Marines out of location. Here on New Repugnancy, you've got to be very careful of the blinks up into the main, and that's exactly what those Marines were positioning to deal with. Looks like we might have another blink up here right now, but there is going to be a Siege Tank there. He's straight on top of it, though, so that Siege Tank will go down. Now the Raven in trouble as well, also targeted, man. INnoVation just can't keep those units alive today, I'm telling you. As he runs to the back of this mineral line, he's going to get a few of these SCVs as well. The Marines, again, just chasing so slowly, it feels like, in the Warp Prism micro. Very good to be able to keep these Marines alive. The tanks are sieging up now, and these Stalkers feel like they might be in trouble. Blinks to the low ground, but he's actually walled in a little bit here. Fortunately, the tanks are not in range. Some of the Stalkers will reposition around the other side a little bit. Warp Prism goes into warp-in mode. INnoVation's still trying to deal with this. Again, those Stalkers are a little bit stuck. Some will get out via the Warp Prism down on the bottom side, and a little bit of a blink. 7 SCVs killed, multiple tanks, a lot of Marines, and just a lot of running around for INnoVation. Chaos is what herO has caused here, and it's chaos which he'll look to thrive on as INnoVation definitely taking some damage from this behind it. You know, herO's just very nicely and happily setting up into 3 bases. We're going to be seeing the third CP from INnoVation on the way up now. Orbital Command morphing in. And he is going to go for more of a Cyclone-based force this time. More Cyclones in production, less siege tanks than it was last time around. So going for that more mobile force, that kind of stops herO from just going straight up into kind of Tempest, because the Cyclones actually do pretty well against the Tempests. They do a surprising amount of damage. I found this out in the Caster's Invitational not long ago when I was going for a Magfield Accelerator build, and suddenly there was a Tempest in my base from Fear Dragon with a proxy, and my Cyclone locked onto it and it died, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty neat. So yeah, these Cyclones do pretty well against Tempest, but this time herO is changing up his style. Templar Archives is done. Immortal's being produced as well, and it feels like he's going to focus on much more of a ground-based composition initially here, rather than just rushing up into Stargates, rushing out Tempest. And I can only imagine that's because of what he's seen, and because he's kind of not expecting this to be the same sort of tank style. Either way, I mean, just changing it up in general is obviously going to be a big positive, right? If you change up your style from one game to the next, it makes it very difficult for INnoVation to hard counter. And if INnoVation is trying to hard counter now with these Cyclones, well, then this other style is just like, well, you know, Cyclones may not be bad against this style, but it's definitely not allowing INnoVation to just correct on his faults from the last game, basically. Mark on a few more Zalds, going to warp in here. I was going to see those Stalkers pulling back a little bit, more Cyclones coming forwards with a lock-on is going to be able to get rid of a couple Stalkers to the Cyclones. I mean, they're meant to be mobile and out on the map here, and this is exactly what we're seeing, so this is perfect for INnoVation, finally being able to get something done. However, as he goes all the way down to the south, Zealots come charging in, and his siege tanks are left so alone. Oh man, I feel like if the tanks to kind of support the Marines, Hellbats, etc. in front of this would have been really good, but herO, who used those Stalkers as bait, and he absolutely capitalizes on the situation. He will lose out on pretty much everything in the army, but you've got to remember INnoVation's had a huge reset as well, and he's lost an entire mineral line because Zealots went charging up to the third base, and INnoVation was just completely out of position. He had to fight the army to get up to defend that third, and obviously he's still not being able to get there. INnoVation, 19 SCV losses, and that's just a huge, huge kick in the teeth after things were kind of starting to go okay for him. Suddenly, INnoVation is starting to flounder. He's starting to be in a little bit of trouble, and herO is starting to look very, very good. More Cyclones and Hellions on the way up from INnoVation, still building here. Starport going to relocate just off over to the left-hand side a little bit. You see that Widowmine on the way up, the siege tank building as well. And hero's still moving around with a few of these units at the moment. Nexus just about a quarter of the way done. Drilling Claws on the way up on the factory as well, so getting that set up to roll. And again, a few more Cyclones, a few more Widowmines on the way out. Zealots being produced as well. Here, just coming through the top side of the map. Going to be set up a little bit again. Hellions and Cyclones gathering together. More Widowmines coming forwards too, and again, INnoVation here just going to be pressing out a little bit towards the center of the map. Observer does get scanned down. Stalkers continuing to warp in, and herO still just backing away over to the left-hand side now. 4 more Widowmines on the way up. More and more of these being added into play. Drilling Claws on the way out as well. Infernal Pre-Igniter coming through, +1 vehicle weapons and plating. As you see, Zealots going to be under fire over here. I mean, Hellion's able to get a lot done on that. And Cyclone's able to lock on and get a lot done as well. And again, just going to be seeing here with a few more Stalker Warpins, gathering all of these units up together. And here we go, pressing forwards into, well, at least a field of Widowmines will help INnoVation a little bit, but good splits initially here. Now the Widowmines start to get a little bit more damage done. The rest of the Widowmines though burrow to the right-hand side. They're never going to get a chance to really come into this fight as herO comes chasing along over to the left-hand side. Cyclones and Hellions having to back away here. Stalkers blinking in on top of this. Oh my god, so many SCVs again going down as a few Zealots are just left in this third base mineral line. The Widowmine's probably the most effective out of anything here so far. As we're going to see them burrowing again, but I mean, again, reality is, what are you going to do? They unburrow and reburrow because the Stalkers are just going to blink. I mean, third base has been absolutely shut down. This time the third CC actually straight up dies, right? So, no third CC anymore for INnoVation, and he is in so much trouble here. With so many SCVs lost. Now, there was a little bit of a Hellion run by that killed a few probes. Great, but Stalkers are already dealing with that. I mean, it's 7 probes lost to the 23 SCVs. And the Stalkers pulling forwards yet again. Just another couple of Cyclones going down. INnoVation's not going to waste anybody's time. Types out GG, and herO shows us a brilliant way of shutting down Mech in this PvT matchup. Just never really letting INnoVation get into the momentum with it all. With a couple of different styles from game 1 to game 2. Very nicely done. And herO picks up the 2-0 here in this best of 3. That wraps us up for today's YouTube cast, guys. I'll be back with another one of these on Saturday, of course. I hope you enjoyed. It was a lot of fun. And really enjoying how these are going. So thank you so much. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Maybe I'll see you on the stream as well. Check it out. Of course, we've got loads of action coming up with the WardiTV European League and the China Team Championship. But mostly, keep on watching the YouTube videos. If that's your thing, it's really awesome to see it going so well. Thank you very much, guys. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day.